back to the Calvin Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well, and today we're back with another banger PulseChain video, giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. And today we're going to catch you guys up with everything you need to know about PulseChain, and of course the recent historic event with Richard Heart starting to reply to people's replies, giving us more information, more insight about what he thinks about PulseChain, what he thinks about us, and a lot of narratives. We have a lot of questions that will be answered today. I'm also going to give my opinions on that. We're going to also look into other sentimental analysis, so hearing from other kind of creators, different perspectives other than mine, because you guys already know I'm super bullish about PulseChain. I've been making videos on PulseChain since 2023. I'm basically a perma bull as long as, okay, we're looking at, and yes, the past few days, and especially today as well, we've actually gone down back to 107,000 currently. Like today, we're talking tons of liquidations. Not as bad as the 10th of October, but it's another very shaky day here in the world of crypto. So keep yourself safe in this highly volatile time. Stay away from leveraging. Only go into spot positions and have time play in your favor. Okay, so right now we're looking at fear and greed index of 32. Just to show you guys here, this is the other fear and greed index from CoinGlass, and yes, it is currently right now at 29. Just to show you guys that I still believe we haven't topped, especially when we hit all-time high. If we look at the Bitcoin price here, we did touch all-time high in earlier of this month. We actually didn't reach the extreme greed, so I do believe we have way more to go. Right now, as we already covered, the ETH-BTC ratio, if you go back here, you can see, yes, the Bitcoin dominance is now slightly starting to tick up. The total crypto market cap is still, nowhere near my targets for the top of this cycle. So it's at 3.6 trillion. The ETH-BTC ratio is 0.035. Yeah, guys, okay, don't be short-term price oriented. Just let it play out. Okay, we are definitely at kind of different times where we have way too many geopolitics that should be factored in to the crypto market. Okay, so it does make it uncertain, where it is just, at this point, it's just not enough to do just TA. It's just not enough looking into, mass market psychology. Okay, we have institutional investors, we have governments, guys, who want to buy your bags, who want to shake you out. We are, I don't know how many days, I've lost count. We are like probably day 113. Sorry, not 113. We're at day 13 of the US government being shut down. Okay, the next FOMC meeting is towards the end of this month. Are we going to see that meeting take place? And is it going to have another Fed rate cut? I think right now the odds are more with an actual Fed rate cut. Now, how many points is it going to be? Basis points? We're not sure. And then the following and the last FOMC meeting before 2026 is around early of December. So I am looking forward for it. But yes, recently the main news right now is that gold is reaching all-time high after all-time high, rapidly increasing. I think it's up. It might be even up 60% on the year. So doing better than Bitcoin. Okay. And yeah, this is kind of not a good sign, because usually if gold is rallying up, okay, and I've seen clips of people like standing in line, okay, to go buy gold and whatever, like literal exit liquidity in real life. That's absolutely crazy. Okay, because they're buying green candles. Like, that's not that. I don't want you guys to behave like that. Okay, the FOMO. They're clearly buying the top. Okay, just how it looks like. And you can see here, this is the white line and this is Bitcoin, and the yellow line is the gold line. Okay, and you can see that I've put an 8-week lag, because that's actually when it's most aligned with Bitcoin. Like, people usually say gold rallies up and then it pauses for then to be Bitcoin's turn. So what I'm telling you guys right now, in the short term for gold, I do think we're at the top. We're going to start seeing it consolidate, not necessarily retrace, consolidate, and now Bitcoin is going to follow its steps. So I still believe that we're going to see a very nice Q4 of 2025, yet alone a successful Q1 of 2026. Obviously, I'm always going to be open to adapting my plan. As long as, obviously, as I already said, we're above the 50 weekly moving average. That's my end all be all signal of, okay, are we actually in a bull run, yes or no, as long as we're up in that 50 weekly moving average, which as of today, I've calculated it, it's $101,000. And yeah, you can look at other things like, for example, this is the Bitcoin liquidation. Right now, I don't think we're going to go any lower, because if we reached $96,000, that would only result in around 120 million in long liquidations, as opposed to, if you think of it as a price magnet, if we reached back to all-time highs, right, that would result in a 17 billion cumulative short liquidation. Okay, so if you it's basically which one's more attractive for the price to go, right? So yeah, that's why I'm still perma bullish on Bitcoin, and of course on Ethereum, and of course on the altcoin season in general, right? That we have yet to see. One of the things that I'm keeping an eye on is the Bitcoin dominance. It has not fallen down like a falling knife. I want to see that under 50%, and then maybe I can start thinking of, okay, maybe we are at the top right now. And just remember, people, tops are formed when everyone's euphoric. We are clearly not at those times, so why should you be worried? Okay, so please stay focused. I understand it's a daily battle to control your emotions, and trust me, it is. So the closer we are, so as long as you guys keep commenting, I'm going to keep making these videos. I haven't made a video in the past 3 days, I think. Life got a little bit busy, but I'm back, and I really want to do daily videos for you guys, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. I open my YouTube and I see every single comment, and I appreciate every single one of you. But yeah, just final thing before we move into PulseChain specific news. This is the Bitcoin monthly returns, right? And I remember talking about September being crucial for it to end in a green monthly candle, which is basically a price above $107,000. We did that, and right now people are saying, oh my god, we are in the first red October candle since 2018, right? Which is true, but do remember, guys, we still have, just under 2 weeks left in October. Like, a lot can happen. We can still end this monthly candle green. So don't lose hope. Same thing goes to PulseChain. A lot can happen in PulseChain in the next 2 weeks. And I know it's kind of a meme, right, to keep saying 2 more weeks. Like, it really does crack me up. I just love being in PulseChain, guys. Like, I was speaking with my one of my friends about this, and I was saying, if I'm not making money in PulseChain, at least I'm being entertained. Okay. But anyways, we're going to move on now. As I've already teased at the beginning of this video, Richard Heart started replying to people. Okay, so a little bit of a kind of a back tweet here, or leading tweet to what I'm about to show. A tweet here from PulseChain Stats saying Richard Heart has not communicated in over 2 years or responded to comments. Does this mean the red notice is actually over? Now, he already did confirm this. He said he doesn't know, or the answer is no, for the 45th time of people asking him. Thousands of people turn up every day, use PulseChain, and grateful to be here. The loud few who get attention do not make up the majority. Okay, so anyways, we're going to see more. So I have I've collected a few comments here. Some of them are going to be shocking revelations, okay, including PDAI, including pWBTC, including pump tires. It really is some crazy stuff, okay? Like, Richard Heart went full out, and I felt bad for a few people, guys, okay? We're talking like people like Corey Costa, for example. We're going to talk about it when we see in a second, and we're going to see what is the other KOL's reaction to this. Okay, so matter of fact, let me quickly just look over one, which is Ivan on Tech. He's been laughing a lot about PulseChain, and of course, he's not taking a break here. He's saying, hexagons, pulsecons, your boss is not happy. You have sinned hard. You deserve punishment for the misbehaving. Remember, you gave away your Ethereum to get rich, but instead you are down like 90% in Ethereum terms. You complain to boss, he spanks you, and retweet, maybe create a bump. So yeah, that's tough. It really is tough, okay? But we're going to look into the main tweet here. He goes, hey kids, some of you are valuable and important and always intelligent messages will be responded to in this thread. So try to be less retarded than normal, you might actually get a response directly. Maybe X will even boost you because someone with a high follower count responded to you. Okay, so this is what I replied. Okay, I said, what do you think about the current macroeconomic conditions? Are they more enabling or restricting crypto? More people complain that number didn't go up down to the specific blockchain. So again, blaming the blockchain itself rather than looking at the macroeconomics, but then don't understand that there's external factors, risk appetite, etc. The fact that we're still technically in quantitative tightening, it just doesn't make any logical sense to sell now when Bitcoin dominance is still at 60%. Others market cap is nowhere near the top. Bitcoin is nowhere near the top. Ethereum BTC is nowhere. Ratio has much more room to grow. We're not in quantitative easing times. We aren't in extreme greed times either. I can keep going on and on. The evidence is there. We had a successful 2024 in the too many altcoin season waves. Simply just wait for the macroeconomic factors to catapult crypto, of which is PulseChain. Think logically, eliminate emotions, easier said than done, I'll admit. But as long as you have a healthy relationship with your portfolio, then it's much easier to think clearly and time isn't a factor. Okay, time in the market beats every high frequency trading. Ass intelligence, again, I got that from Sami, ass intelligence army of bots. Now, what's huge is that Richard actually replied to me. Okay, this is the first for sure. And he said, high inflation with high interest rates F's up a lot of TA. Some things just aren't predictable. Stocks and gold at all-time highs, but Ethereum barely. Basically, when hedge funds guys are deciding what pumps and not, or central banks, it makes understanding bubbles and mass psychology less valuable. Very, very true. We have now different kind of players in this play field now compared to other cycles, so it does make things more noisy. It does make things more manipulated, and it's not as easy as, hey, I have 10 years of TA, let me just look at this chart and let me explain everything and let me try to predict that October 10th was going to happen, for example. Okay, and then we move on to here. Ian asks him, he goes, will you stream again? Richard replied, said, maybe, but it's time consuming, and having 150k subs, referring to YouTube because on Twitter he has like 300, don't make me feel like a baller. Okay, and then another person kind of asked a similar question. Would you be willing to have a conversation with a crypto-friendly prime minister? And he goes, sure. And another one, if the community were to line up interviews for you with large streamers, influencers in/outside of crypto, would you accept them on a case-by-case basis? And he said, probably, but I doubt y'all gonna bring heavy hitters. Life is hard like that. Now that's tough, right? Because he's basically dissing us. Okay, now I'm gonna say this, like, this is huge that he's replying to people, and I love it. I can also tell that he did not wake up in the right side of the bed. Before yesterday. Okay, it was actually crazy on October 15th. And then, we're going to move on here. This is more of a good side of things before we now move into the very controversial, very crazy stuff. Okay, it shook PulseChain, right? But thankfully, I think the charts right now are actually doing pretty decent considering the wider crypto market. Like if you look at, this is the last 24, you can see we're doing okay, especially PDAI, by the way, because PDAI today, there's a few whales that were selling a lot. pWBTC as well doing decent. Everything is actually doing not bad, even though the wider crypto market, as you can see, Bitcoin is down minus 2.4, Ethereum is down 2.1 as well. But anyways, going back to, he goes, look, a smart post in a sea of stupidity. So let's see this smart post. It goes, PulseChain, the superior EVM. Okay, Ethereum virtual machine compatible chain. Gas fees cheaper than Ethereum and layer 2s. Faster finality and throughput than Ethereum layer 2s. Again, it's 17% quicker, 10-second block time speeds. Every transaction burns pulse, reflexive flywheel. Degens on pump tires burn pulse and pair to pulse. When pulse rises, their coin ride with it. If maintains same ratio, auto appreciation is a feature. Again, here's talking about Hart's Law, native zero fee bridge. That's beautiful. I love it. 100% Ethereum compatible. Drop in for any ETH/layer 2 dApp. The chain RWAs, so real world assets. High fee refugees. hyphy refugees, and degens can actually and degens can actually use it, bring fresh eyeballs via marketing or one killer dApp, and the sky's the limit. Usage fees, burn, tighter supply, better price reflexivity. That's the flywheel. Did I miss anything? Okay, and he did talk more. I mean, let's see what he says. He goes, depends on who you're pitching. If it's a total new person, then EVM compatible is confusing and advertise a competitor. Okay, but if they're already deep in blockchain, then maybe EVM compatibility is nice, but maybe straight up ETH code with 25% less inflation and faster block time speeds is even nicer. Okay, so it is very true. Like, you have to change your language depending on, you know, the person you're selling PulseChain to, for sure. You have to meet, you know, make it understandable in whatever they're learning, right? Because when you speak to a developer, they probably want to be more interested in specific aspects of PulseChain that a normal retail investor who probably doesn't even know about crypto needs to be abstracted away from the whole point of, oh, you know, it's EVM compatible. No, we actually need to kind of dumb it down and be like, oh, it's actually pretty easy to use PulseChain. It's pretty quick, right? Oh, you can use these services. Oh, PulseChain is way better because it's cheaper. You can provide liquidity and make passive income, which I'm going to make a video on that very soon. Anyways, moving on here. He goes, this is actually one of the biggest ones. Are you going to peg PDAI? Someone straight up asked him that, guys. Straight up goes, are you going to peg PDAI? And he replies, he goes, PDAI is a literal garbage, but lots of literal garbage has had price go up in crypto, so good luck. He's calling PDAI garbage, guys. A lot of people are like, oh my God, you know, what's going on? Now, here's a reply from Liberty Swap. Okay? Which, again, by the way, some people rumor that this is Richard Hart's alt. And we have another case that's going to support this in a second. Is garbage if no one wants it. At the end of the day, it's just a few lines of code. Your coins, my coins, they're all built the same. Look at Litecoin, Dogecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, etc. Their code isn't much different from Bitcoin's. What makes Bitcoin less garbage than the others is simple. People want it. So believe in your coin, have conviction. That's what makes the difference. Wow. Can I say that's such a perfect reply. Because guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. Just because Richard Hart called it a garbage token, I'm not going to sell it. It does not make sense to me. And I'm going to tell you this, like, it's a simple calculation. Risk to reward ratio. How much you put in, you invest, right? Versus your whole portfolio, versus your individual risk tolerance. How much I allocate to PDAI. And now I think about the risk to reward ratio. What can I win is basically right now at 400x, right? To $1. What can I lose is my 1x. So does that make any sense? Okay. The fact that we were able to reach 3 cents before, and the chart actually doesn't look that bad. Like, the chart looks really good. If you zoom out, you'll understand that we're kind of making higher highs. Now, at the same time, yes, you can look at it a certain way and you can see it like a head and shoulders. But overall, the chart is really good. Guys, name me another chart in PulseChain that did a 10,000x. There's none. There is literally none. And we did 10,000x without any involvement from Richard Hart. We're actually more than halfway there to reach to $1. Now, I'm not saying we're going to peg at $1. I'm not saying it's going to happen. You know, the flip of the switch is going to happen immediately. I don't know that much into the technicals, especially after the ESM.cage function was called, right? We've thrown out the MakerDAO system out of the window now. Okay, so if there was to be a pegging like system, it's something new that's probably proprietary, bespoke to this version of PDAI that we have. Okay, that I don't know yet. Like, there's a few theories that I have around with, you know, Atropa, etc. I could make another video, deep dive into that. What I'm trying to say, guys, okay, this is absolutely high uncertainty, right? But remember, when I made a video on PDAI in 2023, it was equally high uncertainty times. Same thing with Atropa. That was before he doxed himself. That was before he renounced the Atropa tokens. Like, that was at the beginning. Things were so uncertain. It's like, this is fresh. And that's when I started making videos about PDAI. I was a little bit late, actually. Like, I was after the first initial pump, so in around August, when I started getting into PDAI. And yeah, guys, I'm telling you, we're at that same point where uncertainty can be rewarded with a lot of gains. Now, depending on your risk tolerance, you can wait until there's more certainty. But of course, this is a trade-off, right? So this is not financial advice. All I'm trying to say here, just because Richard Hart said this, I'm not going to sell my bags. I might not buy more, but I'm not going to sell my bags. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I have programmed my brain to never sell at red candles. And that has rewarded me significantly in 2024. Significantly. I've gone through like 3 PulseChain depressions at this point, guys. Christmas of 2023, summer of 2024, and of course, the deadliest, which was, well, no, it wasn't the deadliest. The deadliest was summer of 2024 because we had like 4 million daily volumes. But yes, I guess you could count, when PDAI went to 0 twice in Q1, right? In around, or actually April time, when it went to 0 twice, and then it technically went to 0 a third time a month ago from the Debunk hack, right? And then the hacker dumped however many, I don't know, 200 million PDAI and then gave it back to Debunk, etc. So yeah, like, people are saying now, are we gonna, fall back to 0 for a 4th time or a 3rd time, whatever you count it? I don't think so. No, I really don't think so. We've gone through the worst very clearly. The worst was April of this year, guys. It aligned with the whole M2 money supply. Look at this. M2 money supply. It had a major correction. This is December with the top of everything, right? And then we had a major retracement. The M2 money supply, by the way, this is a 75-day delay. Okay? It holds. So of course, as it did a huge retracement. It brought everything down with it. If Bitcoin is going to come down, what do you think is going to happen to alts? And everything was aligned. So I'm glad the fact that PDAI went to 0 twice during Bitcoin's major retracement, right? When we went back down, you see that. Look at this, April. We went back down to 77, 80,000. Because it's aligned with the macro, we actually didn't lose any progress. So overall, I'm happy, guys. This is basically what I'm trying to say. Overall, I am happy with everything. I believe in Core 7. I believe in Atropa. I believe in PDGC. I believe in UFO. I believe in Teddy Bear. There's a bunch. I believe in, Pika. I believe in Mog. There's a bunch. I believe in Hog. Guys, I can make a top 5 memes video if you guys want. Let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on, okay, from that. Here's another question. So, dudes finding convers. Oh, sorry. This is the question. How do you see the altcoin season starting/ending this cycle if there was one to be, one, or if we're already in the midst of one? Now, Richard replied, and this is actually one of the W responses, says, I don't give a F about the alt season. I give a F about our season. Okay. Love this. I love this. I love this. Moving on. This is Richard Hart replying to another random tweet from, actually, no, it's from CZ himself, where he said, woke up to this. Thanks for the support from the industry peers. Listing a 3rd largest market cap crypto should be a no-brainer. Excellent liquidity, volume, and ecosystem. Not listing it is a loss for the exchange themselves. BNB, keep building. Richard Hart says, I kept building and building and building. I would like to wake up to the support from the industry peers, which I assume here he's referring to Binance, which is, I've seen people bring this up, how Richard Hart now, he's kind of asking the centralized exchanges, oh, why are you guys not supporting me? But people are saying, Richard Hart's message this whole time been, oh, don't counterparty risk, don't trust middlemen, and again, that's basically don't leverage, etc., etc. That's basically the main business model of a centralized exchange, right? That's how they make money, and like they're centralized for a reason, right? And now all of a sudden he's making a tweet like this, so it is interesting. And it's funny actually that Kraken is in the screenshot, because Richard Hart said out of all the centralized exchanges, his favorite is Kraken. So I'm not sure if there's talks in the background. I'm not sure if there's a communication between Richard Hart and CZ, because there's another reply where Richard Hart talked about CZ saying, that he's been more open to conversations recently, especially after he stepped down as he's no longer the CEO of Binance, right? But anyways, we're going to move on here. This one is huge, guys. Okay, someone replied and said, why did you launch pump tires after saying only founders and holders win? The traders get wrecked. Pump platforms literally have the worst win rates ever. Genuinely interested to hear your response. And then Richard Hart straight up goes, if your presupposition that I launched pump tires, some portion of people are degenerates and have to bet on JPEGs to keep from jonesing. One of the most successful chains this cycle had its claim to fame on a similar idea, referring here to Solana with pump.fun. But they dump their fees on people's heads. And I reported this, guys. We're talking, if I remember, like 500 million plus in dumped Solana on people's heads, transferred to centralized exchanges. It's crazy. Okay. And yeah, like it is a great example to have our own version of that on PulseChain, right? That burns Pulse. But I do think it was a little bit too late, very late to the game. And now here, apparently he's saying that he didn't launch pump.fun. You can see here, pump tires. Famous Win says, this Justin Richard did not launch pump tires, you stupid idiots. So there's that. What do you guys make of this? Let me know down in the comments below. Okay, moving on here, he goes, this is a caption tweet, but let's first read the actual reply. And the question first from Royson says, can you help me understand PRC20s and the role you think they have on Pulse, pWBTC or Hex, right? Because pHex is technically a PRC20. Even though he made someone asked him in another reply, he said, would you categorize pHex as a PRC20 or as core? And Richard Hart replied as core. Well, guess what? Whether you categorize it as core or not, right, it's still a PRC20 as well. Like, it is a clone. But yeah, it is a core. Like, it's part of my Core 7 ecosystem. Anyways, he goes, pWBTC as an example or something going to one-to-one parity, could it strike interest in other communities coming over and providing the free liquidity they received? Richard goes, ha 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 ha. So you want to peg a $2.25 trillion asset, Bitcoin with something else. So let me ask you, genius, where are you going to get that 2.25 trillion to do that? And what if the Bitcoin prices go up, let's say 50%? Where are you going to get that extra 1 trillion? Or do you think pegging things is free somehow? And that was crazy, right? Because a lot of people, again, was like, oh my God, like, there you go. pWBTC is no longer a narrative anymore. Okay. Now, guys, and we can read the caption here. Okay, let's first of all read the caption. I'll give you guys my thoughts. From Vernon, says Richard Hart has confirmed that pWBTC is going to peg because we don't need 2.25 trillion, and he knows this. That's actually my point. I was going to say Richard Hart is way too smart for this. Like, I don't believe that as a reply, right? Because he knows, obviously, we're not talking about pegging to real Bitcoin that's at 2.25 trillion. We're talking about pWBTC pegging to what? Take away the P, it's WBTC from Ethereum, right? The one that's obviously not at 21 million supply. The one that's, the supply is depending on the mint to supply ratio and the whatever backing, with the contracts, etc. And that one is, of course, the market cap is not 2.25 trillion. So yeah, like, this is what he says. And he goes, all we need is 1.54 billion, right? 10% of 15.4 billion at 100 an average 100k per coin. Richard Hart is putting us through the FUD that he had to overcome to get his gains from 2011 to 2025. Don't let him beat you. And again, this goes back to my previous video, if you guys remembered, where I said anything that Richard Hart tweets is spicy, right? This is his own words. It's spicy tweets to shake the weak hands out. I only listen to Richard Hart from the blockchain and from his own videos. Okay, and by the way, guess what? In Xmas, in Christmas of 2023, he uploaded a video and he spoke negatively about PulseChain. Sorry, not PulseChain, about pWBTC with admin keys. Guess what happened to pWBTC the following year? It went from like $50, $40 all the way to $2,600, guys. $2,600. So a reminder here, A, don't wait until Richard Hart talks positively or confirms the narrative of something that you're holding. Okay, and B, if Richard Hart talks negatively about a project that you believe in, it doesn't mean that you should sell it. Okay, now again, you have to make your own decision on that. I'm just trying to say here, like, yes, he could be warning you about whatever. But I'm trying to say here, he fudded pWBTC. Look what it did. It did, you know, however many X's that, I don't know if it's an 80X from $40 to 2,600. He also fudded EHEX. Okay, and look at where we are now. Yes, we're still like not great in price, but he fudded EHEX. Does that mean I'm going to now sell my bags? No. History, fair enough, maybe it doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. I believe in EHEX, regardless of whether Richard Hart supports it or not. I think it's going to be one of the greatest CTOs over in Ethereum. And I think EHEX doing well this cycle, or in general, is going to be a great kind of token over on Ethereum that will get those whales on Ethereum exposed to be like, hey, there's more of EHEX. Let's go to the whole chain, which is PulseChain. Like it's the foot in the door, right? EHEX is the foot in the door for PulseChain. So there you go, guys. This is the lesson here. And I feel like Richard Hart is being too smart and sometimes almost as if he's dissing himself. He's saying, no, I don't know. What are you talking about? I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. No, like PDAI is garbage. Whoa. Don't associate me with PDAI, right? Because I don't want to end up dead on a beach, right? Somehow I drowned in 5-inch water. If you know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. With the MakerDAO, one of the MakerDAO co-founders. So there you have it, guys. Okay, that's just the theory. Okay, and then you have here from 9 Hour Capital replies and says the largest unsolved problem in crypto is a decentralized stablecoin. PulseChain would attract billions in fresh capital if it had one. It would market itself. I hope one day we can add flawless stability into the list of amazing features that PulseChain already has. I love it. I love that message. Shout out to 9 Hour Capital. And moving on here, another tweet from 9 Hour Capital, kind of a reaction to that garbage tweet from Richard Hart. And he said, I have never felt better about my bag of literal garbage. PDAI to $1, it is inevitable. Shout out to him. Okay, the man believes, guys. Like, this is how it felt in the previous cycle for hexagons. Right, but now we're the cult within the cult. Like, we're the new hex of PulseChain. Right, and PulseChain is Ethereum in a way. But what I'm trying to say, guys, this doesn't just apply to PDAI. Yes, I'm holding my bags. I believe in pWBTC. I believe in the Core 7. No one's ever going to change my mind. The only time I'm clicking that sell button is when we're close to the top, when we're like 20, 50, 100x price difference from where we are right now. Okay, why would I ever sell on a red candle? This is not what I signed up for in crypto, guys. I've invested the risk capital. I will never realize losses because whatever is not sold is not lost. Okay, so I understand a lot of people might be down in terms of price, right? They bought Pulse, they bought PulseX, whatever, at the sacrifice rate. Now we're down like -70, etc. It's temporary. Okay, today's price is temporary. Tomorrow's value could be, guys, magnitudes of what you think is possible. Okay, so there's that. Listen, I'm actually going to end the video there because I don't want to make it too long. Stay tuned for part 2. We're going to talk about more sentiments, more of my thoughts. I'm super excited for PulseChain, guys. I'm super excited. And it's actually an honor that Richard Hart replied to me, because I've learned so much from him, you know. And I'm looking forward to reading his 2 books. I think it's about time. And I know I still haven't watched The Highest of Stakes, the Amazon Prime show. I am going to watch it as well, and perhaps I'm going to do a review on all 3. You know, let me know if you guys want me to do that, to do a book review on the Sci-Vive, and to do a book review on the Fixed Money Fixed World, and to do a video review on the Amazon Prime, what you call it, the Amazon Prime movie. And yeah, guys, listen, it's been a pleasure. I'm actually going to end it with reading a few comments here. Big shout out to the YouTube members. Thank you very much, guys, for choosing to support me. You guys are absolutely amazing. I will continue bringing these videos to you guys. And to the highlighted comments here from High Tech Redneck. He goes, bring it on. Yes, sir. Ethereum Hex is going to melt faces, and Richard Hart's original core coin will see its heyday again. So I'm assuming he's referring to the core coins. Absolutely, brother. Like, I am so bullish on eHex. I'm so bullish on the blue chips of PulseChain. And moving on here from Making a Change, beautiful name, says Alhamdulillah, brother. Well, Alhamdulillah, thank you very much. And from Callan, the OG, glad to see you, says, you can't shake me out. If it went to 0, I would buy the dip. I love PulseChain and Richard Hart. Same. Let's be best friends. We already are. But yeah, guys, listen, I'm going to end the video there. I really hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah, carry on believing, guys. Okay? And I'm going to end it with this. At times like these, we don't pray for easier lives. We pray to be stronger men. So big shout out to the man above. Trust in the process. And trust in God. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.